From celebrity voices and groundbreaking science to Wall Street drama and big employer investments, the GLP-1 world is changing fast. Today we're breaking down Serena Williams' powerful message, new cancer prevention data, Aon's big bet on GLP-1s, Novo's leadership shakeup, and Lilly's billion-dollar play for the future of obesity care.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Downsides News. It's Monday, August 25th, 2025, and we're glad you're here. Today we're diving into the latest on GLP-1s. I'm Lorraine Durham and I've lost over 50 pounds with the GLP-1 medication tirzepatide. This journey has changed my life and I'm here to help you feel informed, empowered, and supported every step of the way. So if you're ready for the latest news and updates with a little splash of motivation, stick around for updates you may not see anywhere else.
And I'm Christopher Durham and I've lost 100 pounds on this adventure with GLP-1s. What we share here is real experience, not theory. And today is extra special. This episode is being recorded live. We're not in our home studio. We're in the Caribbean aboard the Carnival Conquest on our way to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, bringing you the latest GLP-1 news right from the middle of our adventure. We're here to share the real story about the medications that changed our lives, the news shaping our access, the challenges along the way, and the science bringing new options.
If you're new to our channel, welcome. And if you've been with us for a while, welcome back. We always like to remind everyone that we're not doctors, but we have lost weight with the help of GLP-1 medications. We share videos on GLP-1 topics every single day. So make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
From Mounjaro and Zepbound to Wegovy and Ozempic, from semaglutide to tirzepatide, and even the new GLP-1s in development, we cover it all. From the latest research and policy changes to new medications on the horizon, we are here to break down what really matters for those of us treating the disease of obesity with GLP-1s.
In story number one, we've covered this on Friday from our hotel room in Miami, and it's easily the biggest story of the week. Serena Williams has gone public about using GLP-1 medications, and she's speaking directly to the stigma around them. She said that after having her daughters, Olympia and Adria, she hit a wall she'd never faced before. I was doing everything right, working out, eating clean, following the plan, but my body wasn't responding the way it used to. I knew my body was missing something it needed, she said. That something for her was a GLP-1. In her campaign with telehealth company Ro, Serena revealed she's lost 31 pounds in 8 months. And she's not afraid to tackle the criticism these medications get. In her own words, don't let anybody tell you it's an easy way out. You're not taking the shortcut, you're taking care of yourself, and that takes courage. She told People magazine how much of a difference it made. I feel light physically and light mentally. I can do more, I'm more active, my joints don't hurt as much. I just feel like something as simple as getting down is a lot easier for me, and I do it a lot faster. It's also worth noting that her husband, Alexis Ohanian, is the Reddit co-founder. He's both an investor and a board member at Ro. That makes his campaign personal and professional for the family. Serena admitted she was hesitant at first. When GLP-1s came out, I was like, no way, no how. That's not for me, don't sign me up. But then I looked at it like a sport, like an opponent. Okay, I can't beat this opponent no matter what I do, Serena said. And she's not the only superstar face in Ro's corner. Charles Barkley is also a paid Ro spokesperson and GLP-1 user. Earlier this year, he shared that he's back on treatment with a goal to lose 65 pounds after regaining weight when he stopped taking the medications. All of this builds on Ro's commitment to growing its share of the GLP-1 telehealth business, with a deliberate and impressive investment in marketing star power. Pairing Williams and Barkley with the message that GLP-1s aren't shortcuts, but science, is a strategic way to position Ro in the market. And just so it's clear, we're not sponsored by Ro, we're simply reporting on what's happening in the GLP-1 space, because Serena Williams going public with this message is a big deal for anyone using these medications to treat obesity.
So we talked about this, I guess, a couple of days ago when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Had lots of comments from you guys about it, some positive, some negative, some love Serena, some not so much.
Very few, not so much. Pretty much everybody loves Serena Williams.
And she is paid for this, right? So her husband is a member of the board. I assume she's getting probably a very large marketing endorsement fee for this.
Good for her.
Good for her, I say. In the end of the day, though, she actually has come out and been very honest and talked on a lot of publications. And if she's making this up just because she's getting paid, she's doing a heck of a job.
Well, she's not.
It sounds real to me.
She said it was an opponent she couldn't beat. So, Serena's such an amazing tennis player and amazing athlete. So if this disease of obesity was something she couldn't beat, how is any normal human going to beat it on their own?
So we can use the same tool Serena's using.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Story number 2, a new study in JAMA Oncology is adding yet another layer to what we know about GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide. These drugs were originally prescribed for type 2 diabetes and are now widely used for weight management. As we all know, researchers have found they may also lower the risk of developing certain cancers in people living with obesity. The study analyzed real-world health records from 86,632 adults in the One Florida Plus Clinical Research Network. Half of the group, 43,317 people, were prescribed GLP-1, and the other half were matched non-users. When the researchers compared outcomes across 14 different cancers, they found that those taking a GLP-1 had an incidence of 13.6 cancers per 1,000 person years compared with 16.4 per 1,000 among non-users. That represents a 17% lower overall cancer risk with a hazard ratio of 0.83. The impact was especially strong for 3 cancers. The risk of ovarian cancer was nearly cut in half with a hazard ratio of 0.53. Endometrial cancer risk was reduced by 25% at 0.75, and meningioma showed a 31% reduction of 0.69 when researchers combined ovarian and endometrial cancers into a single category. The evidence became even stronger, showing a hazard ratio of 0.68. As obesity rates continue to rise, identifying effective interventions to mitigate cancer risk among individuals with obesity is a critical public health priority, the study authors explained. And the scale of that priority is huge. As of 2021, more than 100 million U.S. adults were living with obesity, a condition tied to at least 13 different cancers. The researchers added, given that more than 137 million individuals in the U.S. are currently eligible for GLP-1 therapies, even modest changes in cancer risk could have substantial public health implications. These findings are supported by earlier scientific work. Preclinical studies showed that GLP-1 drugs such as exenatide can inhibit the growth and invasion of ovarian cancer cells. Other research have found that about 35% of meningiomas express GLP-1 receptors, suggesting those tumors may respond directly to the medication. Together, this helps explain why the reduced risks in this latest study make sense biologically. The takeaway is that GLP-1 medications may be doing double duty. They help people lose weight and improve metabolic health, while also lowering the risk of some cancers. For millions of people with obesity, that could make these drugs not just a treatment for weight, but an important tool in long-term cancer prevention as well.
That's great. Great news.
And I mean, the huge numbers were for women there, and scary, deadly women's cancers.
Yeah, so I guess this study looked back at data and correlated GLP-1 users and cancer.
Across 80,000 plus patients.
I mean, that's a big sample for sure. In story number 3, we came across an opinion piece in the Washington Post that really stood out. It's by Gary Winslet, an associate professor at Middlebury College, and it's titled, "Ozempic for All is Starting to Make Economic Sense." Winslet doesn't mince words. He writes, "Universal access to GLP-1s should be the explicit goal of our federal government." His case is that these drugs aren't just about weight loss anymore. They've already proven effective for obesity and diabetes, and researchers keep finding more. As he explains, they help prevent strokes and heart attacks, fight kidney disease and Parkinson's, curb addiction, and lower risks for several particularly nasty cancers. And when you add up the economics, the argument gets even stronger. Winslet points out that obesity-related healthcare costs the United States about $173 billion annually, while Medicare and Medicaid together spend about $1.9 trillion a year. That's the real baseline, he argues, not zero. If GLP-1s can cut those costs by preventing diseases, then, as he puts it, they pay for themselves. And getting to that point is more attainable than most people realize. He uses a simple example. A single heart attack hospitalization costs about $30,000. Preventing even a fraction of those would save huge amounts of money. In fact, researchers estimate that for every 100,000 people treated with GLP-1s, we'd see 32,000 to 45,000 fewer cases of obesity, 20,000 fewer diabetes cases, and up to 10,000 fewer cases of heart disease. Now, Winslet is clear that prices still have to come down. He says to get there, they'd need to drop in price to about $1,522 a year. A year, not a month, a year. The good news is that prices are already falling. The annual net cost for semaglutide was once over $8,400. Today it's closer to $6,000 for out-of-pocket patients. And Denmark, he points out, has negotiated Ozempic down to $130 a month, or about $1,560 a year. If the U.S. government can match that, or even better, get down to a cost of $1,000 a year, Winslet says, the benefits will easily surpass the costs. So how do we get there? He argues bulk purchasing is the smartest path. The same thing Costco does, just bigger. Instead of Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurers all competing, one massive federal purchasing pool could drive prices down. Winslet even floats a Medicaid buy-in, so working class Americans who earn too much for Medicaid but can't afford private insurance could still get coverage. And he stresses that getting new GLP-1 competitors into the market will only make prices fall faster. His closing thought is powerful. Universal access to GLP-1s isn't a radical anti-capitalist concept or a pie-in-the-sky dream, he writes. It's a policy choice that builds on healthcare systems and preventive medicine thinking that already works. It deserves to be our next great public health project. I'm all for that.
No doubt.
Sign us up.
We're all in there. Story number 4 this week, Aon PLC announced a strategic investment in eMed Population Health Inc., a digital-first platform for GLP-1 care. The move is aimed at expanding employer-sponsored access to GLP-1 therapies and strengthening obesity care solutions worldwide. Now, if you're wondering why Aon matters here, they're not a drug company. They're one of the largest professional services firms. Aon advises many of the biggest employers on health benefits, risk, and insurance. So when a company like Aon decides to not only offer GLP-1 coverage for its own employees, but invests in a GLP-1 platform, it's a signal to the entire marketplace. It means these medications are moving from being seen as individual treatments to being viewed as a part of a long-term employer-driven healthcare strategy. Earlier this year, Aon launched a subsidized GLP-1 benefit for its U.S. workforce. We reported on that. In just 6 months, over 1,200 employees enrolled, averaging 22.4 pounds lost, with a 95% retention rate. That's unusually strong adherence, and it's exactly why employers are paying attention. Lisa Stevens, Aon's chief administrative officer, explained, when you see the benefits it brings to people you work with every day, it really underscores how the decisions employers make today shape the future health and performance of our workforces and our businesses. On the other side, eMed CEO Linda Yaccarino called the deal a game-changing partnership, saying it validates their vision and accelerates their mission to deliver sustainable, data-driven GLP-1 care at scale. With Aon's global reach and influence over employer benefit design, this investment could accelerate how fast GLP-1 medications become a standard part of workplace health plans, bringing real implications for access, affordability, and long-term health outcomes. Now, the reality is we can't attack accessibility and affordability from any one given tack. Somebody asked me in the comments, well, you have to pick one thing to focus on. Well, you can't. So do we need to get the list price down? Yes. Do we need to fix PBMs? Yes. Do we need to get more insurance coverages? Yes. So does Aon need to push to do that as well? Yes. There's no either or. It's all of the above.
It's all of the above. It's a lot. In story number 5, Novo Nordisk, the company behind Ozempic and Wegovy, is in the middle of a leadership reset. After years under Lars Fruergaard Jorgensen, the reins are now in the hands of Mazar Mike Doustdar, and his first moves show he's serious about reshaping Novo for a tougher fight ahead. Novo confirmed that under Doustdar, it has frozen hiring in all non-business critical areas. The drug maker employs more than 77,000 people worldwide, but the new CEO wants to tighten spending and refocus resources. Why now? Growth is slowing. Novo reported nearly $25 billion in sales for the first half of 2025, but that represented just 16% growth, a sharp slowdown from previous surges. On top of that, it cut its full-year forecast after weaker than expected demand for its GLP-1 blockbusters Ozempic and Wegovy. The market reacted harshly. Novo shares are down more than 59% compared to last year. Jorgensen warned layoffs might be unavoidable, and Doustdar hasn't ruled them out. On Novo's most recent earnings call, he said the company must reallocate and relook at our cost base and really put the money where the growth is. And let's be clear, that growth target is all about obesity and diabetes. But here's the bigger picture. Doustdar is stepping in at a moment when Eli Lilly has pulled ahead with Mounjaro and Zepbound. Lilly's tirzepatide is winning the prescription race, and Novo is under real pressure to regain ground. Doustdar himself said the mission is to execute good and outcompete my competition. That competition is Eli Lilly. For patients using GLP-1s to treat obesity, this rivalry matters. It's not just about Wall Street or market share, it's about which company can deliver more reliable supply, more innovation, and eventually lower prices. Right now, Doustdar is betting on a leaner, sharper Novo Nordisk to win back shares in the GLP-1 market. Whether that translates into better access for patients or just a harder fight with Lilly, this is what we'll be watching.
So we're starting to see the new CEO make some moves, right? He put a hiring freeze on.
Let's just level set here. They made $16 billion, and now they're panicking because they didn't meet Wall Street expectations. They're not hurting, okay, people?
Their growth rate was 16 or 17%?
I mean, Lilly's kicking their ass with Zepbound. I mean, Zepbound is outperforming Wegovy for obesity treatment, right? So they feel like they need to get things going. So maybe lower prices, Novo. I don't know. Maybe bring the price down of Wegovy below $4.99 a month. Maybe drop it to $1.99 a month. Then you'd really be kicking Eli Lilly's ass. But that's just me.
Now that you've said 5 cuss words in the course of 2 minutes, that's awesome. Story number 6, Viking Therapeutics unveiled promising data on its oral obesity pill VK2735. But of course, Wall Street was not impressed. Those guys, I don't know.
Wall Street's not impressed by much.
No, they're not. Shares of the San Diego-based company traded on NASDAQ as VKTX tumbled 43% to $23.50 by mid-morning after the phase 2 results were released. Sounds like it's time to buy shares, not a stock advisor. Scientifically, though, the trial was a win. In the 13-week Venture oral dosing study, patients on the highest dose of VK2735 lost an average of 12.2% of their body weight, or 26.6 pounds, versus 1.3%, or 2.9 pounds for placebo. Nearly 80% achieved at least 10% weight loss compared with 5% on placebo. The results showed a steady downward curve with no plateau, hinting at more weight loss with longer treatment. The pill was also safe and tolerable, with side effects mostly mild or moderate GI events, similar to other GLP-1 drugs. Viking tested a maintenance approach, stepping patients down from a high dose to a lower one after initial weight loss, and found the lower dose maintained results a potential advantage for long-term therapy. The market reaction came just weeks after Eli Lilly's big reveal of its own oral GLP-1, orforglipron, in its phase 3 study. Investors couldn't resist the comparison. Lilly's pill looked stronger on raw percentages. That set an almost impossible bar for a smaller company like Viking to clear. But here's where the focus on headline numbers can mislead. VK2735 showed double-digit weight loss in only 13 weeks. The maintenance arm points to a flexible dosing strategy that could keep patients on therapy longer. Unlike Wall Street, patients and doctors may see a lot of value in a once daily pill that is safe, effective, and accessible, especially if competition helps expand the total obesity treatment market and eventually bring down costs. There's your key, cost. And so while Lilly's orforglipron may dominate the spotlight, Viking's VK2735 still has a path to carve out a role in this rapidly growing space. Accessibility, tolerability, and choice could matter as much to patients as chasing the highest weight loss number all across the board. Now, I'd argue it probably has a bigger role to play, honestly.
Even if the Viking's new drug is not as effective as Lilly's orforglipron, which is still in development, it could still be very effective, especially for
And it was a shorter
maintenance.
period of time, so it's unclear whether it was even less effective. So there wasn't an apples to apples comparison. I think here's where we start to see the opportunity for a real price battle come out, because if we look at the stated numbers for penetration for these medications, somewhere between 10 and 12% of the US that could be on these drugs is on it. That means there's this huge gap of people that at the right price for a pill could go, why not? And that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to take a pill every day to manage their weight? That's like the greatest science fiction kind of story ever, and it's probably going to come true in our lifetime, so that's amazing. In story number 7, Eli Lilly just did something almost no big company dares to do in 2025. In a bond market where most corporations are cautious, Lilly launched a massive $6.75 billion debt sale that included a 40-year bond. Very few companies are locking in money that far out with borrowing costs still high, which makes this move stand out. So why does this matter for people using GLP-1s? Lilly's future depends on obesity and diabetes drugs like Mounjaro, Zepbound, and the next wave of medicines, including retatrutide and orforglipron. By raising money in such a bold way, they're not just paying down debt, they're building a financial war chest that could shape the future of obesity treatment. Some of that cash will go to new plants, more supply, and research into next-generation drugs. But when you see a raise this big, it's hard not to think about acquisitions. That's what I'm thinking about. Like Viking. This kind of long-term funding often sets the stage for big deals. If Lilly does decide to buy, there are a few directions they could go. Smaller biotech companies with promising GLP-1 candidates are natural targets. That includes Altimmune with pemvidutide, Structure Therapeutics working on oral GLP-1s, and Viking Therapeutics, which is developing VK2735 as both an injectable and an oral dual GLP-1 and GIP agonist. Lilly could also look at manufacturers to ease shortages or even expand patient access by acquiring a telehealth company like Ro or Amada Health to control more of the distribution chain. For patients, the upside is clear. More investment could mean steadier supply, faster innovation, and possibly a quicker path to oral GLP-1s. If Viking or another smaller player were brought into Lilly's orbit, it could accelerate development and bring new treatment options sooner. The risk is just as real, though. Consolidation can reduce competition, and when competition shrinks, prices usually stay high. The bigger takeaway is that this bond sale is not just a Wall Street headline, it is Lilly staking its future on obesity care. They are telling the world that this is not a short-term trend. They are betting decades ahead that GLP-1s and the next generation of obesity medicines will define modern healthcare. I think they're 100% right.
For sure. And it's in that contrast that Lorraine pointed out. So it's simultaneously a good thing in that they could go out and buy new technologies and really accelerate it, and a bad thing in that they could shut down competitors.
Gobble up the competition, absorb the competition.
So let's hope the Federal Trade Commission is also watching this, because we don't really need Lilly to get Viking and have the other viable GLP-1 GIP competitor. And
I mean, they've just got all this money, and now they're going out and raising more money. And what you gonna do with all that money, Eli Lilly? Why don't you let us know what you're thinking?
Especially when you're making $5.6 billion a quarter.
A quarter. A quarter. order.
So you got cash sitting around in buckets. It's like Scrooge McDuck diving in a pile of cash.
It's like, how much money do they need? Do they need all the money in the world?
That wraps up this edition of the Downsized News. If you found it helpful, we hope that you will subscribe to our channel.
And if you're looking for things that can help you with your GLP-1 journey, visit our website, thedownsized.org. There you'll find links to our 2026 Downsized Cruise, our GLP-1 Amazon store, and our email list. Please note that we are Amazon affiliates, and when you shop through our store, you're helping support our channel, The Downsized, at no cost to you. And we thank you for your support.
If you haven't already, please take a moment and like this video, subscribe to The Downsized, and tap that notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. We break down the science and the news so you don't have to. Join us and be a part of our amazing Downsized community.
I'm Lorraine Durham.
And I'm Christopher Durham, and we are The Downsized. We'll see you next week.